All right, guys, this is another show, We Love Pets. Last time we left you and we were just heading out to Super Zoo. It's been a while since we've been back. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, use the hashtag We Love Pets. Submit questions down below or find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. What's that other one? Twitter. Yeah.
The one where we're really popular?
Yeah, all those
Twitter.
things. We're all over. But today we have a real awesome guest in studio. We're doing a couple projects for the new year coming up, and Greg's here filming with us. It's funny because Rob is such a fanboy, and the whole day we've been hearing fanboy. And
I got the book signed.
Yeah, he got the book signed. But Greg Tilford, he is amazing at herbs. I mean, he is your go-to guy for herbs. And Greg, thanks for being in the studio with us and sitting down and talking pets.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always a good time to be here with you guys.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice.
That was was the politically correct answer.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, Greg. Normally, but you can be honest now. You're off camera.
Okay, I'll be honest. Next time it's going to cost you twice as much to say good things about you.
Twice as much.
See, this is why we try to film before we finish filming the rest of the stuff. But this is the end of what our other project was. So yeah, Greg's tired of us already. He wants to go home.
It's already been ruined.
So definitely the first thing we love hearing about here on We Love Pets is why you love pets and really your pet history. I mean, really, what makes you the pet person in the industry? And I mean, what pets? Really, what pets have you had? What
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like 37 questions.
It's
in one.
funny because I was just down in San Diego, and there's a little canyon at the top of Cass Street. At least there used to be, and I notice it's blocked by houses now. But when I was 9 years old, that's where I became an herbalist. I was crawling around in the brush of Southern California, and I'd come home stinking like the sage in the canyons and everything else, and I'd be tasting everything and taking friends out on field trips. And when I would come home, you know, it was the sort of household where you had to open the door slowly to make sure you didn't grind a lizard into the floor or something, because we had animals running behind the curtains trying to get away from 4 or 5 cats. And then the fish tank over here, and the frogs were croaking in the fish tank over there, and there was a parakeet and a dog.
So you had your own little zoo, basically.
It's called a menagerie, yeah. And throughout my life, I've always had animals, and I've always had this really strong connection with nature and plants, and the connection between the two of them. And as life progressed and I grew up, I started to understand that connection was very important and very profound, and that the two kind of go together. I mean, herbal medicine is their medicine. It's been their medicine for millions of years. And so the interest has always been there ever since I was a small child. And I've always had animals in my life. And, you know, it was when I lived remotely in Montana, back in, I moved to Montana in 1989. I live in Arizona now. But I lived on top of a mountain for 10 years.
Guys, this is true. He is a true mountain man. He lived on a mountain for 10 years to get us the education that we have now on herbs. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about that, because I just learned that today, a little bit more deeper story about who Greg Tilford is, and awesome. And I mean, share just a little bit with the pet people out there.
Yeah, it's like, you know, everything happens for a purpose, and I believe that we come into the world on a path, and whether or not we deviate off that path is another question. As I did, I deviated into a lot of things, ranging from emergency medicine to police work and everything else. But in the end, I moved to the mountains of Montana, and I went home. And I was home with the plants, I was home with the animals, and it gave me the opportunity not just to study plants and understand how to exploit the medicinal attributes of plants, but how they relate to the animals in nature, how nature uses them, and how the animals contribute back to the plant's environment. So I realized that herbal medicine, especially when humans are administering it back to companion animals, the things we bring into our home so we have a piece of nature with us in our homes, when we give something back, like an herb, their choice of medicine, it's a very deep connection between humanity and the rest of the planet. It's, in effect, healing much more than the animal. It's healing ourselves, because we've recognized and we've honored this system that's been here since the beginning of time. And that really turned me on. I realized that this is way bigger than just finding a way to cure a skin problem on a dog or something like that. This is about sharing a gift of healing, because they've been healing us all along. They brought us joy and wellness, and literally have cured us of so many ailments. Anyone who's had a pet in their life, a dog, a cat, a parakeet, anything, has found the value of that bond, of that connection. The healing value is tremendous. And the opportunity not just to give back good food and biologically appropriate food and everything else, but the medicine that is actually their medicine that has been used for millions of years finally we found a way to use our intellect to give it back to them, and that's what I'm all about. That's what I love about using herbs for animals.
I think one of the cool things too is that Greg.
Hold on, guys. This is going to be Rob's fanboy moment. Hold on. Right
No, but Greg was doing this before it was an industry, though, and that's the thing that's so interesting to me, and that's the thing that I do truly respect above everything else.
His book was 1998 is when the book came out, and it's still a staple today for, I mean, herbs and herb education for the pet world. So that was way before we were talking about whole food folks and
natural anything.
Mother's Market and all those other places. In natural, I mean, you were the guy who put natural for pets on the map. So I mean, this is a huge honor. I'm kind of now fanboying for Rob a little bit to sit down and actually get a personal education with you, and so there's a lot to really dive into. But sorry, Rob,
no, that's okay. But the thing that's interesting to me is what was it like, because we see trends now happening every time we go to one of these events. There's we kind of joke around and what's going to be the hot trend or key phrase that's thrown around and overused and then gone in a year. But you saw a whole entire industry grow and maybe a more natural way.
A more organic way.
Yeah,
absolutely. When I got into it on a professional veterinary level, because I was harvesting and identifying herbs for the nutraceutical human side of things long before I did for animals. And back then, the whole natural supplements for animals in 1995, when my company was incepted, when I created Animal Essentials, it was a $2 million a year industry coast to coast. And today it's approaching $2 billion.
Wow.
So, and when I got into this in the early days, it was out of recognition of what the natural needs are of any mammal. I mean, herbs support what the body's naturally designed to do. It doesn't force the body to do anything. It just supports various aspects of the body according to what herb you're using and what you're trying to confront. You're stimulating various processes that the body already has. It's equipped to do. And that's where I got into it. I wasn't market driven. It wasn't about making money. It was about taking what I know to serve animals and people I love, the animal lovers. That's what started me. That's what it's all about to me, and still is. And back then, I remember the recipes that would go around, because it was all home prepared diet. The barf diet just started coming out and everything else. And I remember going into seminars and such, and it was so complicated. Well, I'd sit in panels. There'd be vets and there'd be animal nutritionists and stuff up there, and they'd go, well, that's not going to work because you've got to have X milligrams of this every day, and this has to go in the diet. And they're basically going down an AFCO nutrient profile list, right?
Right.
And the cookbooks and all of the recipes for home-prepared diets were so complicated that it practically required a pet-loving person to go and buy gram scales and stuff just to feed their pet. And that bothered me. Something's wrong.
Right.
And what's wrong with that is, in the frustration that occurs as a result of that, a large percentage of animals aren't being served because people give up or become frustrated. The reality of feeding an animal healthy is the same as feeding our children healthy. They need good food. They need food that's appropriate for their body, and they need a diversity of different foods, and that's it.
Right.
As long as you're changing it up, their bodies will seek and get what they need, but it has to change. Unlike the days when I remember back in my childhood, the old commercials, don't change your dog's diet, keep feeding our kibble day after day or it will create digestive upset.
Yeah, that's still a big myth that's going around. We still hear it all the time. I still see people who aren't educated still feeding, like, I'm going to feed the same dog food over and over and over for and I forgot who told me this when we were doing an interview with them or a PetX Talk or one of the many things we've been doing. But they're like, would you eat cereal for every meal of the day for the whole? I'm like, oh man, that makes so much sense. Like when you put it to that level of like just how simple it is. I mean, yeah, so why wouldn't you change your dog's diet? Why wouldn't you add these little things? And it's not these big, huge things that we're trying to change. It's that little bit of additive supplement or something that makes a huge thing. And the herbs do so much to just potentially extend your dog's life or your cat or your hamster or your lizard or whatever a pet you have. So yeah, yeah.
Well, what's the biggest challenge that you still see today when it comes to supplements and people using them for their pets?
The biggest challenge, I think, is always the same, and it's for the human side of things too. It's people to realize that they're necessary, you know. Especially in our society, our culture dictates how we will think, and that everything will be complete by virtue of what is on a label. And the reality is that every individual is different. It doesn't matter if it's a human, a dog, cat, a bird, or whatever. We're all different. We all have different needs. We all have different dietary needs. And, you know, if you're using commercial foods, for instance, as a really good example, it may have, you know, the AAFCO profile of nutrition, and that could be a whole different talk, of course.
Sure.
But the question is still, is it really appropriate for that animal? You know, is it everything that that animal needs? And so what supplements do is exactly that. They don't supplement a bad diet, they supplement a good diet to assure that the animal is getting enough of all the values that they need. And people need to realize that it doesn't take much to find really premium results from very expensive food that they're buying these days with the use of supplements, because the supplements in herbs, whether it be herbs and vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, stuff like that, it enhances the value of that food so tremendously and improves the transport, the absorption. It adds components that may not be still in that food, you know. So my answer, in short, is supplements are really necessary in absence of a functioning crystal ball to determine otherwise. Really.
You don't have one of those? I thought that came standard.
You know, it broke. It used to function really well.
You didn't get the 90-day extended warranty on it?
Buy the warranty. You gotta buy the warranty.
Always buy the warranty, folks. Come on.
Really?
Well, I mean,
he used to work for some guy that used to sell warranties.
I did. I sold a lot of them. When everyone bought a camera from me, when, you know, back in the day, you had to get the warranty.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I always would kick around the warranty because, like, it was great because they'd replace your camera. So I'm like, well, don't tell me that you dropped it, just drop it and then bring it in and get a new one. That I was always a guy selling for the people, never selling for the company. I'm always for the people. Yeah, sure.
We believe.
Yeah, we'll buy that
We
one.
believe him.
Yeah, we believe.
So go ahead.
Well, no, but I want to ask this one because this is one I get asked a lot because people know that I'm a big supplement guy, and you know, they're like, well, if I just had to take one, or if there was just one, and I always say there is not just one. How do you respond to A, the question of, well, which one? And then B, if there was just one that you were left on an island with, what would it be?
Yeah, because I would be the one that's just like, I just want to take one. I don't want a whole cabinet full of all. Just give me one. That's
well,
me.
if you're on an island and you need one supplement, we need to know if there's any food on the island to begin with, right? What are you eating?
True.
Right?
Fish.
No,
There's
the-
fish
the-
around the island, so
The
we'll
way
go
I
with
look
fish.
at the whole supplement thing is, and again, it's kind of like the way I described the early days of preparing food. There's only a couple things that need to be considered right up front. Things that need to go into the diet of every animal all the time. One is fish oil, or a complete omega-3 fatty acid supplement, something that really does good for the omegas. A complete omega-3, not flax oil. Doesn't complete out the whole thing in carnivores. That's needed because there's no other way to assure that they're going to get enough in their diet. And that's why we see so many dogs walking around, and cats, with skin problems, dry coats, flakiness, flea allergy issues, really bad flea allergy issues, because omega-3s maintain skin and they regulate the prostaglandins and the immune system and the inflammatory response that causes all the itching of a flea bite, the allergic response. And if there's no fish oil in there or no omega-3, everything's already out of balance and haywire. They're just totally set up for disaster. So that's number one. The second are a mix of probiotics and enzymes, digestive enzymes, things that help optimize and break down the different components of the diet so they can utilize the food they're eating. And this is really, really important in carnivores that are eating a commercial diet that contains vegetables or grains. Now, per se, neither of those are unhealthy, but they're really hard to utilize for a carnivore's body because they don't produce the enzymes needed to effectively break down and utilize all of the components in vegetables. They're designed to eat meat. Digestive enzymes help break down those barriers like cellulase and such, so they can access the nutrition in the foods. Those are the two primary things. Now, if a dog or a cat or another animal is on a really good diet, I mean a high quality, premium, perhaps home prepared, well diversified diet.
Well, let me cut
probably
it
don't need
this real
anything
quick.
else.
If you're saying, like, if it's just feeding kibble or just a generic dog food out there, those two little things are going to help that dog or cat or whatever animal you're giving that supplement to better their life. It doesn't have to be an over-the-top diet, but if you're saying if they've got a better diet, they might not need all that stuff, right? Is that what I'm getting?
Those two things will optimize any diet. It'll improve any diet.
So, folks, we're not saying you need to change everything about how you raise your pets or how you own all your pets. Just a little. Just do a little bit. I mean, you can still feed that kibble if it's convenient for you. If you can feed raw diets, awesome, go ahead. I don't have the time to feed always raw diets. Rob doesn't have the time to feed always raw diets. I mean, I can't make every meal. I don't even make every meal for myself. I love some of the fast food around here. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
but yeah.
But I think the other thing that you're saying, though, too, with the supplements is, listen, like you started off saying, what are you eating? Because supplements don't change. I mean, you can supplement a Kit Kat diet, it's still going to end up looking like this.
Hey, when we're on those 15-hour days and all we got is Kit Kats, that's what it is.
What you're saying is, though, listen, these few little tweaks are going to improve the chances that pet's body is going to assimilate enough of what they need, and that's available to them from whatever it is they're putting in their body.
They still have to have good food.
Yeah,
absolutely. But basically, any diet will be optimized or improved by those two supplements. Just remember, you can't polish a turd.
Yeah,
you can't make chicken salad out of chicken crap. Right? You got to start with good ingredients, and then build upon it. Now, when it comes to the herbs, now you're starting to get into supplements that are going to be put into the picture that are based in a more focused way on the individual that needs it. Not every animal in the world needs an herbal combination like a detox formula to detox their body because of chronic problems with liver deficiencies or something else, or digestion. Not every animal needs that. So those kind of supplements are identified as you identify the needs and the nuances of the individual animal.
So let me ask, who do I go to identify those needs of the animal? Is it just my vet, or do I need to find someone like you in my local town and tell me that this is what my dog needs? How do I go about knowing that this is the right path to go for my dog or your cat, whatever you have out there?
It helps to know what the general picture of your animal's health looks like.
Okay.
So the vet ideas, a holistic vet's a really good idea. But, if they're really a good holistic vet, if they're one of the guys or women that I really look up to, the first thing they're going to tell you is that, you know more about your animal than anybody on this planet. And here's the other value. Here's the thing that I haven't touched upon with you guys today, is the value of going holistic, of going with herbs and natural remedies, is that you are forced by just principles to understand more about the animal you're taking care of.
Yep.
You have to be able to identify, and something's wrong. He's not behaving the same way. His right eye is watery. He sneezes in the morning, but not in the afternoon.
Yeah.
A pet care diary. You know more about this, and those are all clues about stuff that he might need supplementally in his diet.
Yeah.
He might have chronic allergies and everything else. And in being forced to do that, to use these things really effectively, I mean, you can use herbs and other things without going to this trouble. It's really not a trouble. It's a blessing when you start doing it.
Yeah. The benefits of it, definitely.
The benefits of it is you have a closer relationship with that animal. It enhances everything. So, you're getting a double plus. You're putting good nutrition, good supplements, the systemic support that the animal needs into the body, but you're also a much deeper relationship, a much more intimate relationship with that animal. You know that animal inside and out. You know your dog's needs. And it's bilaterally appreciated. Your experience will be greater. It'll be deeper. The bond will be amazing.
Yeah. It goes for cat people too. I mean, we're dog pro here, but we're cat pro too.
Yeah,
so.
Even if cats,
I was going to say, it doesn't matter what pet. You've got to know your pets.
That's exactly.
I
just got the desert tortoises, and
Yeah.
I spend so much time now.
Well, you were on Desert
figure out-
Tortoise Suicide Watch for the longest
I was on Suicide Watch, folks. Yeah, it's true. Those things flip themselves over, and they're like,
Hey,
just let me go.
You know,
But-
if you were riding on my back to work every day, I'd probably have the same problem.
It's true. It's true. But, you know, I'm impressed just at how long he went with that answer so as to not answer my other part of the question, which is you're left on a desert island with a tortoise and one herb. What's it going to be?
Well, if you're stuck there with a tortoise and there's no other food,
He swam away before you caught him, Greg.
Tortoises don't
I was
swim.
going to say that
No. He built a boat. He flipped that. These are smart. These are smart, man. They flipped it.
Turtles are water.
No.
Tortoise,
I
don't
got
put
you
your
the. I got you
People
with
do
the
not put your tortoise in
No.
swimming pool.
No, look. Tortoises are smart, man. He'd be like, I got a shell. I see the turtles out there. I'm going to give it a run.
Yeah.
I'm making it. So you're there with one herb.
one herb.
Not
Now
that they make available in Colorado.
No, it's not just supplements. It has
Yeah,
to be
it
real.
one herb.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, no
I'm starting to
supplement.
wonder, are the turtles real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
he's been on the desert island way
All right,
too
they're
long.
jammies.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
pajamas.
exactly.
I
One
get
herb.
that.
One herb?
Yeah, just one herb.
Dandelion.
Okay.
For a lot of reasons. First of all, it will help, the sand or whatever you're eating is going to help move through better. But the nutritional values are really good. I mean, dandelion's amazing. For something that we scorn and spray with Roundup, and all kinds of stuff. It's an amazing herb. It's one of the richest food sources in the plant world. You could probably live on it for quite a while. There's even enough protein in it to probably live for quite a while.
Well, and Lord knows it's probably made its way to whatever island you're at. So
Yeah, probably.
It's a good
Well,
call.
if I was stranded on any island, it would probably be with me.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I like that.
all right, guys. So we've come to that point of the show where you guys can participate with us. If you guys want to submit questions and put into our lovely dog bowl here, use the hashtag We Love Pets, or put a question down below in the description or in the comment section down
Or
below.
tweet it to us at Pet World Insider.
Or at myself, producer Derek. We'll answer those questions the best we can in our dog bowl. So, Greg, this part, you just pick a random question. They're so mixed up and random. And we're going to
Not that one, Greg.
We're going to see how we fare on these answers.
From what animal does whalebone come from?
Sweet. Thank you.
know
You
me
want to give
well.
out that
You're
Twitter
making it
handle?
easy on me. What is your favorite breed of cats? Tabbies.
African Serval.
I'm going Savannah.
Well, I would say Savannah because African Serval is a hybrid of.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You want to give me crap about the tortoises. The
Sorry,
servals are smart enough to switch over to Savannahs, though, right? You're going to go with that one.
My bad. African Servals are not legal. Savannah cat is a hybrid of an African Serval and a house
That's
cat.
right.
Sorry,
I'm taking
sorry,
it.
sorry.
I'm going Savannahs. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd go Savannah.
Savannah's probably mine. I also like the bobcat hybrid cats. I'm a hybrid. I like the hybrids because they're more dog-like than they are cat-like.
Yeah.
No offense to cat people.
I'm a hybrid too.
Yeah. Tabbies aren't hybrids.
No, I'm a hybrid.
Oh, I was like, you're not going to get that.
No, I
much.
like tabbies.
All right, give us
because
your best mountain man story.
There's two reasons I like tabbies. One is they got a really cool attitude, and second, I really think my cat's pretty much linked to me all the time. And if I say another breed, I'll pay hell when I get home.
Yeah.
You just ever wake up and he's just standing there above you with all the claws exposed, going,
Oh yeah, I've been
Hi,
waiting.
Greg.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
All right, give me a mountain man story, because you were out there, you've crawled around, you have, were you ever just out there and all of a sudden there's just like a bear or a moose or something just like,
Oh, I've got lots
hey, Greg.
I've got lots of those stories. I'll give you a really good one. And I remember this was really early on. It was like a year and a half after we had gotten on the mountain. We had just gotten the cabin finished, and when we moved up there, it was like April 1st, and there was still 3 feet of snow. It took a week just to get to the building site. And we had just a shell up, and we were literally laying on army cots with oil lamps heating a box full of baby chicks. We had like 40 chicks in our bedroom with us, right? And that's to give you a scenario of what life was like, right?
Life is good with you.
And we had gone fishing and caught these huge trout, and we were smoking trout on a grill in front of the house. And I heard this barking. My dog Molly, she was an Australian cattle dog mix, and I walk out and she's standing next to the grill, all of her hair standing up, and she's looking to the back of the house. Now, the house was sitting in a saddle with canyons going down both sides, and there's these big game trails, just beaten paths that the elk would take on both sides. And I'm thinking, damn dog, I'm not going to get to see an elk. I'm not going to get to see a moose if she keeps doing this. So she keeps barking, and she will not go to the back of the house. So I think, what the hell, I walk to the back of the house, and there's a big pine tree right behind the house. And I look down into the draw where that trail is, and I see nothing. And I'm cursing my dog because I really wanted, I was new there, and I really wanted to see some stuff, And about the time I was turning around wondering why my dog had gotten silent and disappeared, I hear this scratching in the tree. And I'm thinking, oh, what is that? And I'm thinking, it's a big squirrel. And I looked up, and the first thing I saw was the tail of a mountain lion about 1.5 feet above my head. 2 big testicles. And this face looking down at me about 10 feet up, and he's standing on tree limbs that are like an inch wide, right? And the tree limbs are going, crack. And all I could do is go, mountain lion. And I ran to the front of the house, and he went back up the tree. The dog was, she was just part of the door paint trying to get in the front door, right? And so we went in the house, and that cat, this was like maybe 3 PM, that cat sat on top of that tree all afternoon. And we, after what we watched it through the back window of the house, and he wasn't going anywhere. He just looked up there with those casual, nonchalant cat eyes, like they say, I meant to do this. I was climbing this tree anyway, And so he stayed there, and we actually got comfortable enough to where we just finished our barbecuing in front, and we'd wave to him in the tree in the back. And we figured if he jumped out of the tree, we could jump, through a window, even if we had to shatter it to get away from him.
It's a good plan.
But it was like 10:30 at night, laying in bed, and we just heard this crack. That's it. Just silent. I mean, mountain lions and cats in the forest are like ghosts, And then as a finale to that story, I'm not vegetarian. We were growing lots of vegetables, but I was hunting for food at the time. And I was maybe a mile from the house. And I'm sitting there in brush, and I hear brush breaking about 30 feet to my right. And here comes this white-tailed deer, he's not following the trail or anything, just busting through brush. Right behind him, this big mountain lion with 2 big testicles. Hauling us down the hill and disappeared out of sight. And that's the last.
He stops. He's like,
that's the last.
Greg, what's up?
Hey, dude. So yeah, it was magical. It really was.
It's like, wait, could you stop for a second? Oh yeah, it's you. What's up? I love that, man. I'm not hanging with you. Sorry. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's cool.
Yeah,
nothing happened. You're totally fine. So, Greg, you shared with us a lot today. I know there's some cool, exciting stuff coming up for your company and for yourself as well. Is there any websites you want to plug that we can, people can find you
tell
on?
the folks where they can get more info from you.
Do you have any kind of social media we can follow you on? Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook under my name, Greg Tilford. We're revamping all of our social media for the company, but regardless, you can find us at animalessentials.com. I also have a blog, which has been severely neglected lately, but it's there, and it will be picked up in a big fashion really soon, called theanimalherbalist.com.
Theanimalherbalist.com.
Awesome. So, Greg, thank you for coming in and working with us all day today and putting up with us all day today. And, and putting up with Rob and his fanboyness all day today. But
I only have 10 more things for you to sign.
Yeah. You guys should have seen him.
Check eBay and...
He had all his books. He was waiting at the door. He was like, when is he getting here? When is he getting here? So, guys, thank you for watching. We Love Pets. If you guys want to follow us, we are at Pet World Insider, and I am at Producer Derek. Almost forgot that. On all the social media platforms. If you guys want to add questions, comment below or find us on social media and use the hashtag We Love Pets. Thank you, guys, and we'll get another one out soon. Yeah, cool. Follow. Bye. See ya. Thanks. Awesome. We're done. Cool. That's it. That's how we end it.